Hello everyone, this is Greffrey again with part 2 of the Phantasy Star for 80% no major glitches tutorial. So we have gone through up to Zeo, which is about the first 55 minutes to an hour to hour and 10 depending on where you're at. And now we're going to be looking at the Dark Force 1 fight and everything leading up to it, and also everything in the air castle. So here's hoping that we actually have a nice go here. We don't get completely screwed over. So this is the same save file that we actually used in the first video. And we will go into the spaceport right here at Kadari to get everything started. So just a quick heal up. And then we'll just go right in. So the goal for the Dark Force 1 prep will be, as you see on the left side of the screen there, we're getting Ren and Raja. Then, after we get them, we'll go fight the Fractal Ooze. That's available through the Hunting Guild quests. From there, we'll go to Karan and get Chaz up to level 17, and then fight Dark Force 1 himself. So, once you get into here, you will be going to the treasure chest. It doesn't matter which one if you go left or right first, but we'll get a Plasma Dagger, a Plasma Claw, and a Plasma Sword. The Claw and the Sword we will definitely be equipping onto Chaz and Rika shortly. And on the right side, we have Canceller, which does nothing. A Pulse Laser for Ren, who we use for most of the game, and a Plasma Field. The Plasma Field is a very handy shield that is high resistance to lightning attacks, and we're going to be putting that to good use later. But first things first, let's get our boy Ren. So once we're done with this cutscene, we're actually going to be doing our first bit of menuing, which is going to involve putting Ren in front, because Ren is actually an incredibly tanky character. So we like him taking the beatings when we can. And also we'll be doing some equipment swapping, and we'll do some macros as well. That's in preparation for a little bit of the grind that we're going to be doing in Karan. So hopefully we get through this here. There we go. Alright, so first thing first, we'll do the order. So we just pick Ren, and then you just go down the list from there. Nothing too crazy. Ren will equip the Pulse Laser on. The Pulse Laser is actually a very good weapon because it does decent damage, but the more important part is it hits every enemy on the screen, so its value is actually really high. Rika will equip the Plasma Claw over the whatever you feel like, and the Ceramic Shield will go over the other one. That's going to be very important for later. And Chaz will get the Plasma Sword. Okay, now we've done the ordering, we've done the equipment, now we can go on to the macros. So the first one will be Ren attacking, and Rune will do Gra. We're going to be using that for clearing out some of the easier monsters to fight later. And the second one is a very specific build one. Hewn from Rune, and then Flare from Ren, then the rest attack. That one will be used against two different types of enemies that we'll encounter later in Karan. So, we got our macros, we have everything else in place, so let's get the heck out of here. And we're going to use Chaz to cast Heinous. Puts us back outside, we come to here, and then we pretend to go to Karan. Because, dun dun dun, we find friends. Or specifically, one friend to sabotage our ship. This guy, he could potentially kill Chaz, but everyone else is fairly safe. But we're hoping that Chaz doesn't get killed, because we want the experience. For this fight, we're just doing all of our big single target attacks. So, Ren will do Flare, Rune will do Giflois, Rika will do Double Slash, and Chaz will do Crosscut. And we're just hoping that nobody dies, or Chaz doesn't die in particular. There we go, we're going to be fine. And this fight's actually worth a substantial amount of experience for how easy it is. 4.5. Like 4.6k, easy, easy, easy. So that should actually put Chaz up to level 12, and that'll be, yeah, it's ever so closer to our coveted level 17 for this section. And Rika is incredibly happy because we are crash landing. Ship will land on top of a temple, and then we get to meet our next extra character, Raja, who is he's a priest on this planet, and he is a kind of a healer, priest-like character in this game. So he has a lot of the healing spells in the game, and his for text I should say, and his skills actually cover a pretty wide gamut of things that you can do, such as the equivalent of D-Ban as a skill, a full heal for every, or I should say a full heal, but it's effectively for us a full heal for the entire party, including Ren, who is an android. Does affect him a fire attack that hits everything for about 300 damage. He does a fair bit of stuff, and he's actually the only character, to my knowledge, that I can think off the top of my head, that can actually restore TP to the party with his skills. So we're actually going to put that into very heavy use later on during the Dark Force 1 fight. So our next steps is once we get Raja into the party, we'll book it up to the next town, just up north. And once we're in there, we'll go through our next batch of menuing. But for now, we get to just enjoy the chit-chat there. And then a bad joke. All right. Town, and then we'll... Oh, no, that guy blocked us off good. And we come to the bartender. This is another one where you have to answer no a whole bunch of times, and then yes on it. So we actually have to hit no 3 times. And fourth one, yes for a spaceship. Alright, we're done there. Alright, so first things first in this menuing. We're going to change our order, and we're going to throw Raja out front, and then all the rest stays the same. Next up will be equipment. There's actually a fair bit of equipment to swap around here. So Raja is going to lose the silver circlet and the silver mantle, and he's going to equip the Psycho Wand. Not because it's a better weapon for him, it's because we want the silver rod to sell, and we are not going to be using the Psycho Wand any time else during the game, and we can't get rid of it. This is our way of getting rid of it, so it's not clogging up our inventory. Now, Ren is okay on gear. Rune is going to equip that silver armor that we hijacked from Raja. Rika's going to stay the same, and here's where things get odd. Chaz is going to equip 2 shields, the plasma field and the size shield. Chaz, for the next little while, is actually not going to be swinging a sword anymore. He's going to be a spell slinger, and these shields will help him stay alive as well on top of that. So, we have our equipment done. We did our macros that we need late already, so we can actually just get out of here so we can use Chaz to Ryuka out of Ryon. And from there, I like always just moving over a little bit here, use the Land Rover, and then we can head over to our next town, Tyler. And from here, we just come on over to the left, and we come and check out the massive grave at the end of town, or the side of town. Ta-da! It opens. Alright, so this cave is actually pretty handy in case Chaz died on some boss fights earlier and lost out on the XP, and it's a good way to catch up. And this actually works out beautifully because these helixes are incredibly easy to kill. The macro A that we created will kill them very quickly. So just to give you an example, it's possible that on the right one, actually Ren was 1 damage shy of killing it. They have 90 hit points. So, you just keep on going, and we come over to the right here first, and we're going to pick up Zirconium gear. This is better armor for Ren. We'll be equipping that later once we find its other counterpart. These guys, if you ambush them, they're good for fighting, but on their own, we can just leave them alone for now. And since we're not behind on experience at all, we can just go. We're actually in pretty good shape right now for experience and money, if I remember correctly. Oh, the ambush of the froggies. Wow, these guys are being kind of obnoxious today. Alright, we'll just keep on going to the bottom left corner of this map. It's a pretty small cave. It's hard to get lost in here. Alright, and here we find another spaceship, and it appears to be in good shape. So we're going to use it to get out of here. Yeah, with that, we have the Tyler spaceport coming to being now, coming out of the ground. Go on in, and we'll just borrow a quick heal from here since we lost Raja. We're going to need him soon. And now, normally, you would go off to Quran in the story, but we're not. We're going back to Motavia, and that's where the Fract Ooze fight comes into play. We need to go pick up the guild quest for that now. And smash through these. You actually have to use the start button to get through one of those. I can't remember which one. So once we've landed, we'll head over to Ido again using the Ryuka spell on Chaz. And head right on up to the Hunter's Guild. And we're going to be picking up the 4th quest, the Fisher of Fear. And we're just getting it for the experience. We're not here to collect the money for it. So once we've actually completed the mission, we ain't coming back here. This is our final trip. Nice. And pick up Fisher of Fear. And so now, once we are done here, we can Ryuka over to Monson. It's in one of those towns that we picked up earlier. We just kind of came in and left immediately. And we're going to go to the house that's directly above the crack in the ground. The crack in the ground, house. Very easy. And come talk to the person in here. And then leave the house. You can actually just hold straight down and it will take you right into there. So now we're in the hole. Now we're gonna go right and just follow right and then up eventually. And we will find the fract ooze that we're looking to take out. Oh, wow. No, Raja, you're not allowed to die early on me here. I need you. Speaking of which, I guess we can just... Oh, no, Raja's up front, top here. Just do a quick top up on him to make sure he doesn't get knocked out on me here. And there's our target. That's minor ambush, nothing too crazy there. Alright, if everyone's good and healthy, you can just come straight up and talk to it. This one's pretty straightforward. We're going to be doing, it's about 4 rounds of attacking if everything goes to plan. So we'll actually start with Raja doing a blessing, and that's the only buff we're going to do. Outside of that, we'll do Ren with Flare, do Giwat on Rune, we'll do Double Slash on Rika, and now we do not have a sword, so we can't do Crosscut or Earth. But we still have the Zoo spell, so we'll do that. That's unfortunate that Raja didn't get targeted there. But we got, eventually, our defense buff up. So, in this case, we'll have Raja attack, we'll have Ren do a recovery, Giwat again, Double Slash again, and another Zoo. We're looking for cell splits. That's going to do the most damage to Raja without outside of single target attacks on Raja itself. So this is turning into a rather unfortunate combination of... This is probably going to be my last turn of attacking. Just picking the wrong person. Alright, so in this case, we're actually going to have Raja use an item to make sure he's not defending. So he'll use a leather shield, Ren will recover, and everyone else will defend. Yeah, this thing's doing an excellent job picking off things. So yeah, we're just going to repeat the same thing again until Raja eventually gets killed, hopefully. Almost there. You're getting the right idea there, Fractus. Oh no, we don't want you using the second wand. There we go. There's that cell split we're looking for. And now we'll just go right back on to attacking. Yeah, we were good 2 attacks away there. Alright, so we got a whole schwack of experience for that, and a bunch of people got levels. Alright, and once we're done here, we can actually just get out of here, so we can use Rune to heal us out of here real quick. And then we can use him for Ryuka as well, and we'll head back to Kadari and its spaceport. And while we're here, another quick top up. And we will save our game here. So Chaz is level 15 now, so that's expected at this stage here. Then we'll head to Kuron. So we should be gaining 2 levels in Kuron fairly straightforward way. Bleh. Can't even talk anymore. So there's not much to do here. So our goals here, again, Chaz gained 17. And to help expedite that, we're hoping to get Raja killed off pretty early on. So the command balls and float mines, we want nothing to do with. We're just going to be running away from them. And you can run away from them pretty regularly. And head on over to the left here. These guys are actually pretty easy to kill, and this is actually what we were planning to use this macro B for. Normally, or I should say normally, there's one other encounter that has the C-Ray 2, but also 2 satellite minions as well. That the Hune would take out, and then the Flare would kill off the C-Ray 2. Whew, that's a hit. And get out of the way. Not much to get here, but it's a somewhat easy fight. And I guess while we're here, we can also start using some TP here. Once Raja is... Oh, actually, a side point. Down here, there's a chest that has a repair kit for Ren. Repair kits can full heal Ren, and also they can revive and full heal Ren as well. So they're actually incredibly handy, but normally I skip over it right now, because it takes something pretty special to kill off Ren in the early part. Here. Here we go. Siren 386 is 4 of these. This is what we're wanting our macro A for. This should rip them apart. So, we'll just use that, and they're nicely spreading around the damage at the moment. Oh, they almost got Raja. Almost. Good job, team, but not quite there yet. And everyone else seems to be A-okay on health at the moment, so we'll just continue on. And we just go over to the right until we hit the yellow line, and then follow it straight down. There's another one that we can just use the macro A on. There we go. Now we got Raja out of the way. And if there was a very big discrepancy in experience for Chaz, this is also not a bad time as well, if need be. So actually, you can kill off Rika, potentially. And you can get some more XP funneled onto Chaz. But otherwise, with Rika up, this should be fine. This is also when we get to the Dark Force fight, that we're not going to be doing actually a terrible lot of healing at all. Actually, I don't want to deal with this. We'll just go. And so Rika's TP is actually valid to use. You don't want to burn through it all, because you're going to need some of it for later. But you can use it for the odd SAR here and there. Here we go. This is what we're looking for to use Macro B, to highlight how good this is. And also they get their charge can attack, which, ouch. The Flare takes out everything, and then, or Hune takes out everything, Flare finishes it up. And we'll just do a quick heal up on Ren there real quick, and Rika can get us all topped up. Same thing again, so we'll just take advantage of it. Oh, the Hune got off early, that's good. So actually, earlier we saw one level gained that involved Gi-Res being learned. That was actually Chaz hitting level 16. So we're actually pretty close already to getting his level 17. And once we hit level 17, we can start running from everything. So from that elevator, we go left, and we find the Zirconium armor. That was the armor I was mentioning earlier for Ren. So once you get that, we'll just slap that on there real quick to bump up. Actually, how big of a jump is that? 105 to 117. So, alright, yep, gets bumped up. These ones are pretty straightforward to use a macro A on, so we'll gladly do that. Pretty easy fights overall. And then once you have that armor and it's all equipped, we just backtrack a little bit and then go right past the elevator. Or east, depending on how people like to think of it. Assuming that, obviously, top of the screen is north and whatnot. Wow, we're getting pretty healthy encounter rate here. What are we doing on damage taken? We'll throw out a quick SAR here. We still, yeah, she still has almost over half of her TP still, so we're still okay. Oh, here's that macro B one again. We can get out of the way. Fortunately, we didn't get lucky this time, and we didn't get the Hune to go off. There's a few other monsters in here. Like, there's some of the, looks like bio weapons. Like, I think it's a Ripper. What's called? Oh, Githu. That's our sign that Chaz has hit level 17. We're actually done grinding in here now. So once we, and then we'll just go into this elevator. Then we're gonna go right here because we're gonna make a side trip and pick up a napalm shot for Ren. We're gonna be using that in the next grind later. So yeah, we're going to be running from all the rest of the encounters in here, that we can run away, of course, and hopefully everything's okay. And we just come over to the left and follow this path, and it'll take us to our next elevator. Ah, I see, game. You catch wind of what I'm trying to do here. was actually a pretty healthy amount of damage. I'm gonna keep the rest of that TP. Alright, we'll come into the elevator. There's the piercers. They're another monster. And again, this is one that we would use just the macro AO on, so I might as well just highlight what it can do, since we're not really on the clock at the moment. And it's worth a healthy chunk of XP. If there's 4 of them, that's a pretty sweet fight. But it's, if they ambush you or they all attack first, it can get pretty mean pretty quick. As these guys are deciding to be uncooperative, I might as well give them exactly what they want, which is a fight. And this is our last elevator, because we are now into the last room where Dark Force 1 is hiding. So I usually walk up to here until this little cutscene plays. And then we do our final menu beforehand. So once again, we change our order of our party, and also it updates all of our stats at the same time. But it's going to be a slightly goofier order. So we're going to have Chaz first, then Ren, then Rika, then Rune, then Raja is going to be at the very end. After that, we'll use Rune to actually res Raja. And then Raja we're going to use to heal up everybody. There we go. And then once that's done, we're going to change our equipment. We don't have to change anything on Chaz or Ren or Rika. However, Rune and Raja we do. So we'll just start with Raja, since this is actually easier if you start from the bottom, because all of the equipment will be sorted out. We equip the Frayed Mantle and the Side Circlet to give him a little bit of armor. And then Rune, we're actually going to remove the Silver Circlet and a Side Shield, because in the fight with Dark Force 1, we actually only want Chaz and Ren alive. They're the only ones we want to have XP out of this. So we've done our order, we've thus updated our stats, we changed our equipment. Now it's just some final macros. We're going to be keeping A and B, but we're not going to use them. So for macro C, it's actually going to be Chaz defending, Ren defending, Rika using the Plasma Claw, and then the rest attack. That's just we are close to killing Dark Force, and we want everyone to die that's left over, except for Chaz and Ren. And then our D macro is actually going to be a resing macro, just in case something goes south early on in the fight. So Ren will be casting Reaver, and then Chaz will do Gi-Res, then Ren will do Recover, Rika will also do a Gi-Res just in case, and then Raja will just attack. So he's just going to be swinging around that cane for a while. Alright, we have done all our menus, everything's set up, so how about we get started on this fight? So for me, I find this fight actually has a very similar cadence, for lack of a better term, to how I do the Sandworm fight, where you do 5 rounds of doing big damage, and then you full stop after. So, on this one, we'll start with our Spellslinger Chaz casting Dithu. Ren will be doing Barrier. Then we'll do Saner on Rika. We'll do Gaifua on Rune. And then finally we'll do Blessing again on Raja to get ourselves fully buffed up for defenses. Got the Barrier. How about the Blessing? There we go. So we have everything up now. So that's a good start. And Chaz just throwing 2 33s. That's a nice start right there, because Chaz only takes 1 point of damage because of the fire resistance gear he has and all the shields. So this actually allows us to do some really funny things. Well, we get to go absolutely crazy. So this is turn 1 of our full-on damage. So we'll start with Chaz doing Githu, Ren will do Flare, Rika will go straight onto double slashes, Rune will continue Gifua, and we're going to actually use the Saint Fire ability on Raja since we have a free turn and no healings required. So this will pump out a whole schwack of damage. Dark Force 1 has 4,500 hit points if you want to do counting at all. So attacking Ren again with a single target, this is a free turn. So let's just keep this party going. And now we're actually out of attack spells. However, now we can actually use this moment to restore TP to everybody, specifically Chaz. We need his TP to be up so we can keep pumping out this damage. So that's where his Ataraxia ability comes into play. So it goes off, and everyone heals a good chunk of TP, more or less all of them for some characters. There we go, now we're starting to see some of the AoE. So that was turn 2 of going all out for damage. Now let's go on to turn 3. So we'll do attack there. Ren should still be okay, so we can do Flare, Double Slash, Gifua. And just because we can, just to highlight how useful some things are, we're actually going to do Miracle now. This is the party full heal. We'll wait for that to go off, because that should probably carry our healing for the rest of the fight. So that was turn 3 of doing a whole... there's the burst rockets, there's the big damage. Alright, we'll go on to turn 4 here, so we'll go continue the damage that we want to do here. Damage... I think you're going to be okay. Actually, in this case, we're going to change this up and actually have Rika heal up Chaz, because those two need to live, but everyone else can die. Gifwa there, and then we'll do another Ataraxia to keep everyone's TP up. Or in this case, specifically Chaz's. And thankfully, Chaz actually went first, that way he gets the full thing of Ataraxia. So I said this was... there, okay. So we'll continue what we're doing there. Gifu. We'll do recover there. We'll do a double slash. We'll do Gifwa. And how I count for what turn I'm on for damage, because Blessing was the first turn. So we, for one round we did, so round 1 damage we did Same Fire. The second round we did Ataraxia. Third was Miracle. Fourth was Ataraxia. So we're on our 5th round of damage. So it's kind of a nice way to keep everything sorted out. So we'll just swing with the cane. Because we're actually hoping that a bunch of people will die here. So after the recover, a Burst Rock would be very handy. Nope, we got that. So we did all of our damage that we wanted to do now, because we got our 5 turns in. So we're going to switch over to this macro and just wait patiently. Bye, Raja. Now we have 0 damage output since we're not swinging around a cane, a holy cane that actually does a fair bit of damage. There's the Burst Rocket. Now we can take out Rika, so that just leaves Ren left. Okay. Ren's starting to get a little low here, so we're going to defend, recover, and we'll use our Silver Mantle, because that seems like a good idea. There's a Burst Rocket, so that will end it. Alright, so now we just do some cleanup. Nice turn, nice turn. Let's power through that again. And we're done. That's how close the damage is. Alright, so that was actually, I would say, pretty close to a picture-perfect Dark Force 1 fight that you will see, hopefully. I've seen instances where I had Rune actually get single-targeted before Barrier went up or Blessing. So I can't remember if Flare Shot classifies as a spell or a physical attack, and just got killed in one shot. And that made things cascade, because that means I couldn't heal Raja, who got single targeted the following turn as well, and it gets very strange. But it's a lot of thinking on your feet. But sometimes he just wants to play nice, and it's perfectly fine to go through. So now we're done with Dark Force 1. We are now officially on to the Air Castle prep. Once we land here, we actually get access to the Ice Digger. And with that Ice Digger, we're going to be accessing the Mist Veil, we'll be getting Kira, going to the Esper Mansion to do some more plot triggers, and also get some more equipment that's lying around there. So we'll cover that as we go. So, now that we're here, Chaz can just do a Heat Us Out. And we'll head over to Dezolis. So I didn't actually mark it down on my nice little checklist there on the left, but we'll actually be getting rid of Raja here right away. So first things first, when we land, we're going. Actually, I'm just going to change the order first. So Raja, Ren, Rune, Rika, Chaz, and equipment. We'll change some things here while we're at it. We will unequip the armor because we want to sell those later, but he can keep the Cycle Wand. And we'll equip the Napalm Shot onto Ren as well. Rune can get back his Silver Circlet and Psy Shield. Rika is going to be unchanged. We're not going to change anything there because we still need that Ceramic Shield equipped. And Chaz as well is going to stay as the double shields. So we changed our equipment, we redid our orders. All it's left is some macros, but I like doing those later. So first things first, we'll just leave here and find our new Ice Digger in our inventory. And we'll just head over to the right and up and just dig our way through some ice. We're going to encounter our first town, Zosa. We're just here as a teleport point, so we come in, we leave. And once we leave, we get back in our Ice Digger and head over down and right. You get to here, there's a town. We're not entering that town. We want nothing to do with that town. That's not fun town. Ah, these guys. These guys are actually can be sometimes kind of tricky to run from. However, the Ice Digger has these two special abilities. The End Sphere one will actually instant kill them. So normally, just try to run. And now we're in Mies. So while we're in Mies, we will head over to this building on the right, and this will trigger the next plot point of Raja leaving the party. But we'll also now find out about Kira. Oops, that was nimbly. Now that Raja's laid up in bed, and we find out about Kira, who went to the tower up north. And this is where we're supposed to say, hey, okay, let's go get her. We're actually not going to get her right away. We're actually going to create a couple macros here. This first one will be Rika will be using double slash. Ren will just attack. Rune will use the flaily, and Chaz will just attack. And our H macro, we're going to have Rika use disrupt, then Ren will attack, Rune will flaily, and Chaz will attack as well. So this will set us up for our next area where we're going to be fighting and grinding in. And once that's done, we're actually going to use Rune to Ryuka back to Zosa, that town we were at earlier. And once we're here, we get back into our Ice Digger, and we're going to go left. And once we can, go up. Because this is our next target. The Mist Veil. We're here for some money, some experience, because it's always handy, and also a weapon that's at the end called the Silver Tusk. That's, I guess, arguably the best weapon for Rika, especially at the end with a... because the last boss is weak to holy damage, and that's what it does. So any of these Hungry Moles, we're just going to be using Macro A. Because these guys are weak against fire. Everything's actually weak against fire in here. And they'll rip apart. Like that crit did 352. Normally the damage is around 300. It's silly. In this first room, we're going to actually bypass the stairs and come over here and pick up a Trimate. That's a few Trimates we can pick up along the way. That's fantastic healing that we're going to use later. Again, Hungry Moles, we're going to be using Double Slash. The macro H we will save for Flying Bugs, as I call them. I can't remember their exact name off the top of my head. And we'll use it on them as well, because it most likely will one-hit KO. And let's continue on to the right and come on up. And there's actually another treasure chest here with a Stardew. We'll gladly take that. This walk has been something to say the least. Also, the other goal that we're looking at is a specific amount of money, because we're going to be very shortly doing a very big shopping, and we need a specific amount of cash by the time we leave here. And that amount is 13.8k Meseta. So right now we're actually 1,300 behind, so we're just going to stick around and do some more fights just to collect that cash. Ooh, that's a hit. And if you need to have healing done in here as well, Rika can easily cover all the healing as need be here. There we go. So we're at 13-1, so we need 700 more money. Which most likely will just be one more good fight. If we have a really good fight, we'll overshoot it, and that's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Here are the bugs I was talking about, the tech plants. So this is where we use the Disrupt. Killed one, but not the other, but Ren with a nice follow-up there. And I think... oh. Ren, or Rune learned his DM, his insta-kill ability. Still just short, so we will do one more fight. Oh, that ambush. So most likely Chaz is going to be level 20 in here, if you're wanting some sort of reference. And then we'll be getting 21 later on in another area. We'll be doing some fighting. And there we go. Got a level, we got our money. Yeah, Chaz is 20. And then we talk to the cats that like to talk back. Oops, just sneak back by all these cats. And we'll go talk to the boss cat. Kitty, there's Kitty. Alright, so now we got the Silver Tusk. And immediately we're going to equip that on Rika over the Ceramic Shield. That Ceramic Shield that I've been talking about being so important, it has now finished its purpose, and it is no longer needed for us anymore. So once we are done with that, Rune can hine us out. And once we're done with that, we're going to use Ryuka and head right over to Mise. Now we're going to go get Kira, the person that was referred to earlier. So once you are here, you just go in your Ice Digger and head up and right. And you'll find stuff. If you ever find yourself in a situation where getting a little bit more XP or a little bit more money will be handy, these guys are actually really good to fight because the napalm will take them out in one go. They're not the best, but they're a little extra. That's really easy to fight. Alright, here we go. So we enter in, and hey, someone needs help. Hey, it's boss music. It means we have to fight. Absolutely not. Story-wise, you're supposed to run. And now we're running. And now we saved Kira. And so once we are done with this little chat, we'll find out about Lutz and the Esper Mansion. And we'll be heading over there next for the next story trigger. And also, there's some items in there that's actually really handy, and also just a good amount of cash to sell if need be. And then once they're there as well, we have a bit more menuing we need to do. Just to give you an idea how much money we're going to need for the next shopping, the last shopping we did before the Ladea Tower was 19.6 or 19.4k cash. We need 74k. This time it's substantially more. So once we're out of that cutscene, we can just Ryuka over to Mise again. And we'll hop back into our trusty Ice Digger, and we'll head down and right. Just keep digging. There we go, and continue right, and just kind of follow the path it leads you on. That's those owls again, but we're okay on cash right now, so we don't really need them. And we'll go right in. So let's talk to the guys here, and then we'll come over to the right. And continue going right until you see that door there, and we'll go into that. And there's 4 things here. There'll be a Soul Dew, 10,000 Meseta, a Reflect Robe, and a Lacquer Rod. I guess the intended purpose was, hey, here's some cash, and here's some upgraded armor and weapons for Rune. Yeah, we'll use the armor. We ain't going to use the weapon, because those 2 shields are still significantly better to keeping Rune alive throughout this run. And once you're done with that, you just head north until you find these 2 that are blocking the way. After some verbal sparring, we can just go right on in. And now we get to go meet the mighty Lutz. Wizard that's lived for 1,000 years. And the Esper Mansion reveres him in his presence. But there's only a ball here. A floating ball, no less. So, Lutz is actually dead. He's been dead for quite a long time. However, he actually put his memories inside that orb. And other generations of people who kind of inherit the mantle of Lutz get his memories from that as well. So, Rune is actually that person. So, the jerk from day one that him and Chaz have always been butting heads, and Kira has been revering are one and the same. So now we got 2 worlds that get absolutely crushed. Chaz is confused, like, you're actually this mighty person? Holy crap. And Kira is shattered because, wait, the person that I've been revering my entire life is this arrogant jerk. And there's Kira's best face. Of, wow, this is not what I wished it was. Alright, so important fact, you cannot teleport out of this room. If you ever want to teleport out of this room, you actually have to leave this up to this room. So now we have our new character in here. We'll do a nice chunk of menuing again. So we're going to change our order. So we'll put Ren first, then Kira, and then go work our way down the rest. And this menu is actually really handy to remember that everybody has a piece of equipment that they're handling. Or changing, I should say. So Ren will be re-equipping that pulse laser because we'll be selling the napalm shot. Kira will be losing her Leco Slasher. Rune will be equipping the Reflect Robe that we picked up earlier. And Rika and Chaz will be unequipping their body armor. So now we've done our equipment, we've done our order. Now we can change our macros. We're going to be using 3 new macros into this next area. So we'll start off with Kira doing Hewn. And then Ren doing Flare. And then the rest attack. Macro B is going to be a slightly different one. Actually, we're going to have Rika cast D-Ban. There's a set of monsters inside the weapon plant that we're going to soon that does a lot of physical damage, but if we can negate that with the D-band early, we can actually reduce their damage very low, and they're worth a lot of experience and money, so we want to be killing them when we run into them. So this is our way to have our best odds of doing that. So with that, we can use Rune to cast Gigra, Kira will cast Raw, Ren will attack, and Chaz will attack. And for the last one, we're actually going to resurrect our Tri-Blaster macro from earlier, but Rune's going to be the lead man for casting Wa, Chaz will still be the only one cast Zu, and Kira will be casting Fwa. And after that, we'll also be using Double Slash and Flare for Rika and Ren. There's quite a few fights in the weapons plant that a Tri-Blaster will just wipe them out, but there's also a fight that you can kill one monster in the fight, and the other two will combine. This macro C will kill it straight out without any worries at all. So we created our new macros, we've changed our equipment, we're good to go. So we're actually going to leave. So we'll just Ryuka out to Esper Mansion. And get back in our Ice Digger, and we'll head back left. And we'll actually continue past left where we came down. Once the game wants to stop giving me random encounters. And continue left through this ice. And then up to Gubius Temple. Or Gumbius. Alright, when you come here, we're going to book it straight right. Go down the stairs. And take the left fork. And there's some more items down here. So we got a Stardew, a Soldew, a Trimate, and a Moondew. Once we have those, we're right back out of here to Gumbius. And go right back in again. This time, however, we're going to go left. And climb the stairs. And then once we're up here... Oh, that guy blocking me. Come talk to the priest up here. And get through this cutscene, which there's an Eclipse Torch that we'd like to borrow, because that would actually burn away those vines that were trapping Kira earlier, and we had to run away from. However, someone else has better ideas. These triplets are stealing it for their leader, Lashiec. Once we get rid of the triplets, take the stuff. And then we'll have to give chase to the air castle. But we'll be going there soon. Not right away, but soon. We still have more grinding and shopping to do. Lots of shopping to do. So we're finding out that Lashiec is actually a person that the original Lutz encountered back in Phantasy Star 1 at the air castle. Alright, so we are done here. So once that's done, we'll Ryuka out to Gumbius. And then we'll head over to the town that's right nearby called Jut. Let's head straight on up. Once you get past the fires here, we'll book it left and go right into the item shop. A shop we don't normally go into very often. Alright, we got a lot of selling to do here, so let's get started. You're pretty much selling all the old equipment outside of the wood cane and the leather shield. Everything else is going to go. So we'll sell the silver rod, the plasma dagger. I'll show you what the end result should look like once we're all done. So we'll just go ham on selling all these weapons and armor we don't need anymore. You'll see our money start jumping at a certain point as well. As the Ice Digger, so we don't want to sell that, or we can't sell it even if we wanted to. Don't want to sell Trimates as well, we want to keep those. Also, this is a prime time as well. If you have any extra Monomates or Dimates, you can get rid of those as well, because those are going to be sucking up room, and we don't want those anymore. Because this shopping trip is actually about buying Trimates. So, Ceramic Shield, Soldew will keep, Silver Mantle will go, Lacquer Rod will go, Lacquer Slash will go. That's 10,000 right there, almost 11,000. Alright, so we're at 7,600 now, and the only equipment we have left are the Wood Cane and Leather Shield. Everything else are items we can't get rid of, or healing items, which will be very useful for us. Now we're going to buy 7 to 8 Trimates. And we do not want to drop below 74,000 money. So we'll see how many we get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can get exactly 7. And that'll get us to 7 money left over once we're done our shopping. So once we have our Trimates, we'll come over to the right. And we'll head on up to the weapon shop. Up in an armor shop, I should say. And we're going to buy 2 pieces of gear for Rika and Chaz. We'll be buying 2 Reflect Mails. And once we have those, we'll go over to the weapon shop and we'll buy 1 Lako sword, which is conveniently at the top as well. So now we have 7 cash. We cut it close. Very close. So while we're here, we're going to equip Rika with the Reflect Mail and Chaz with the Reflect Mail. We'll not be equipping the sword yet. Actually, I guess while we're here as well, and in the menu, we can do some quick healing. And once we're done all that, we can just Ryuka right back out to Jut. And get back in our trusty Ice Digger in a new location. And go left and down. Oops. And come over to the weapon plant. And don't really need to save here, but it doesn't hurt as well, just to make sure we get through this correctly. So our goal here is, again, more money, some more experience. And also at the end of the dungeon, there is... Okay, actually, I'll get back to that thought in a second. Actually, I'll complete this thought. There's more armor for Ren at the end, and also there's a console we can talk to, or interact with, that will dish out repair kits that I was talking about earlier, and you get an infinite amount of them. We're going to go there to collect 3 of them, and those 3 should carry us through the game pretty handily. So I mentioned earlier that there's a fight where monsters can combine. This is it. So in this case, we're going to have Ren do Flare on one of these arthropods, and Kira will defend, Rune will defend. Kira will do actually a Saner, because we're going to need that later, and then Chaz will also defend. Unfortunately, we got some bad luck, and we didn't get what we're looking for. Oh, no, actually, no, I thought all of them attacked, we did. So they transformed into a Life Deleter. This thing is very high level. It can do a lot of damage, it's really fast, it's hard to run from, but we can kill it. And it'll be... Oh, no. He interrupted our turn order there, so we didn't get the Tri-Blaster off, so we got everything else off, though. So we're just going to do the same macro again and hopefully just finish off. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And he's worth a lot. Alright, so I guess while we're at... Actually, the advantage is here that we can actually use Cure for healing now if we need to. Let's top those 2 up real quick. And we'll continue our merry way. This dungeon's actually pretty linear. It's not too much for paths, except for here. We actually go immediately up. So this is a fight that we want to use Tri-Blaster on. Because it will wipe out all this pretty quick. Wow. And worth it. And Bros. That is Chaz getting level 21. That is our goal in here. For leaving, I should say that's a goal. It's just a very good benchmark. So we'll ride the left conveyor belt once we can. And since we're needing money anyways, we might as well just take out what we can. Especially for fights that are 3 or more, that's actually really handy. So we're getting about 1,000 per fight. Just ride on that. And then we'll head up. Talk to the console here. Ride this conveyor belt. And this is another one that, again, Macro C will do everything that we want it to do. Handy Tri-Blaster. Now some people have taken some damage, so now we're going to use Kira to top people up. And ride this conveyor belt. And the elevator, and now it gets very linear. Oh, well, you know, more of these guys, so we'll do that. Ow, that tickled. Alright, well, let's fix up that damage that we took. And Kira right now is in a bit of a precarious position because she doesn't have a second shield yet. We'll be giving her one later. So I'd rather not risk losing her right now. This one we can actually just do macro A on just to spread out the Tri-Blaster usage out. Because the Hewn and Flare combo will finish it off. And if it didn't, the subsequent attacks would. So let's heal up Kira, kind of like how I mentioned earlier. Follow the line to the elevator. And we're going to book it left. This is our last real decision point for directions to go. So we have to ride this elevator, but since we still need more cash, we're 1800. Oh, hello, that's a rare fight. No, that won't work. No, we'll have to use Tri-Blaster for this. Seeing all 4 of these guys at the same time is not so common, and added bonuses is worth a lot of experience as well. And we'll just continue going straight down. We'll not ride that because we still need fights, so we might as well try to force another encounter if we can. And this is the last room. Just follow it through. Oh, hey, hey! Our good friend Life Deleter is going to be back in a second. Ah, perfect. We got that early on so that they can combine without doing any attacks. And then we'll hopefully see our Macro C work. Yep, we're good. And just easy as that. And come over to the right, and here is the gear we're looking for, the Elastic Gear and the Elastic Armor, and 3 repair kits have been procured. So we will right away equip this armor onto Ren, and we're actually at money right now, so we can leave. So let's use Rune to heal us out. And then we will do Ryuka over to Zosa this time. So there's 2 reasons why we're coming to Zosa outside of shopping. There's shopping, and there's penguins. They're awesome. Alright, let's go. So before we sell anything here, we're actually going to unequip Kira of her Reflect Robe. And at the armor store, we'll sell the Reflect Robe that we just took off of Kira. And we'll sell the Zirconium Armor and the Zirconium Gear. And with that, we'll buy the Phanta Robe. That'll be the new armor for Kira. And over here, we're going to buy a Flame Sword. We're going to be using that for the Lashiec fight later. Since he's weak to fire, it's a fire-based weapon. We'll be good. So, now we do our Air Castle menus. This is actually where things get fun. Let's make sure I got what I need in front of me so I don't forget anything. There we go. Okay, so first things first, our party order is perfectly fine. But we got some equipment to put on, so we'll equip the Phanta Robe. And maybe just do that, just for the sake of stats. Now, macros. Macro A is going to be Kira with Gra, then Rika with Double Slash, and then the rest will attack. We'll be using that one for a very specific set of fights, or a specific monster, I should say. Macro B is going to be a bit of an odd one. We're actually going to have Chaz defend first. Then Rune will do Giwat. Kira will do Hyun. Rika will not do anything special. It's just attack, attack. Macro H. Oh, I should explain. This one, why it's so special is there's Frost Sabers and Haken Right blades. They look like those biological weapons that only have one arm that's a slashing or a piercing weapon. This will wipe them out right fast without any problems at all. Macro H, we're going to actually have Rika have Disrupt. Ren will Flare. Chaz will attack. Then the last 2 will do Flailies. Initially, there's these ghost-type enemies that are in the Air Castle. The Disrupt will straight up destroy them if you have 2 claws equipped. Later on, there's some fights that we encounter that the Disrupt will wipe out a lot of the side enemies, and then the rest of these attack will kill what's left. And then Macro G, we're actually going to have Rika on attack, and then Rune will actually use an ability called DM that we picked up in the Mist Veil. DM is actually an instant kill attack, and it's going to be really handy for some fights later on. Okay, so we have done we had no ordering to do. We did our equipment because everyone has armor right now, just to double check. Except for Kira down a shield, but that's okay. And we've set up our macros. Let's head over to Tyler Spaceport and we will go on our way to the Air Castle and hope that we don't get completely screwed over in it. So when you enter, you actually get a cutscene automatically. And then once the cutscene's over, it'll actually bring up the where do you want to fly place. You actually want to hit B out of it. We do not want to travel anywhere first because we use up a lot of resources. So we want to heal up. And then before we enter the Air Castle, we want to save. Alright, now we can head over to the Air Castle. So our goal here is to get to the triplets first. And it's kind of divided up in two parts in my mind. Getting to there's a healing circle in the I would say the midpoint of this place. So it's a full heal, full all skills back. So it's really handy. So that means during this initial walk, we can actually burn through a lot of resources if we want to. So let's go. And there'll also be some equipment along the way we'll be picking up, such as the Swift helmet, which I mentioned in the previous video. And also another claw for Rika. So Stoneheads, this is the ones I was mentioning earlier. Stoneheads, these monsters are actually pretty tough to run from. So this is what we built this macro A for. The Gra will take out the Dimension Worms, which are pretty weenie from Gra attacks or Holy attacks. And then the Double Slash will kill the Stonehead. So we'll put that to use just to illustrate what occurs. If you can't run from them, might as well just kill them. And we take that right door, and then we just kind of follow the path here. And we'll be ignoring the treasure A side rooms right now. Ah, Spectres. These are the ghosts I was talking about earlier. So this is a good example. They're easy experience, and Rika is pretty quick, so usually she kills them pretty fast. But sometimes they're pretty fast too. And they have death spells and corrosion. They have a lot of pain wrapped up into their moveset. So the less we have to deal with them, the better. In a pinch, Tri-Blaster can take them out. And but they're actually pretty easy to run from as well. So again, we have that Stonehead, so we're gonna have to use this Gra macro again. Kira's taking some damage, so we can just throw a quick Metis onto her real quick. Another advantage about this place is we're traveling along the roofs later, but also courtyards as well, along with those roofs. You cannot get random encounters out here, so it's just something to keep in mind, say, when Ren takes some damage, and you know you're going into a roof or a courtyard area. It's free healing for him. Ah, Frost Sabers, these guys we talked about earlier. These guys are also fairly tricky to run, and that's why we created this macro B, to be able to take them out very quickly. Yikes, that's a heavy hit. Yeah, they have actually a pretty high crit rate in comparison to other things, so we gotta be careful about them. Hey, Rune Learn Nefwa. So let's get Kira on healing duty here, just to make sure everyone's A-okay. No sense in risking anything, and Chaz is already level 22, holy moly. Once we get to Lashiec, we actually need Chaz to be level 23, so we're actually pretty good on experience at the moment. But I'm going to try fighting a lot of the fights along the way as possible, just to kind of highlight what you can get away with. So just head off. So, oh, one of these guys again, so macro A. Yeah, just continue on down here. And we're gonna ignore those stairs over there and take the stairs over here. Oh, ambushed by this fight, hooray. Let's use our macro A again. And just do a quick top up here. Oh yeah, there's no stairs, it just goes right back onto the roof again. And we'll go left until we find the next door. Ah, this room. This room is a fairly long stretch of room, and you're going to get a few fights along the way normally. There's also a single treasure chest as well in here that contains a Trimate. Since we're okay on Trimates right now, you're probably okay to pass on it. So again, we got those Frost Sabers and Blade Rights, that's what we want as well. You can just do this macro B as well, and that'll take them out. The Trimate that's in this room, if you find that you're short and you say you can only buy 6 Trimates, or if you just want an extra Trimate to get just for a little extra layer of safety, it's perfectly fine to pick up as well. Some people skip over it, but it's not a necessity per se. Pass by this door, and just to highlight that yes, there's a Trimate here. Haha, Trimate. So I think we could just do a Tri-Blaster run. I think that works. works just fine. So we can do that in a pinch to take them out. Two Spectres tends to be kind of a waste of a disrupt for resources if they get easy experience, so I tend to run away from them. Might as well get the full value if we can. And since I know we're ahead on experience, like really ahead, for now we can be selective on what we choose to fight to save time. Alright, so again, hard to run fight, so we'll just do a macro B. Yee! Oh, you're dead, aren't you, Kira? Yep, you're dead, so we do not get our dual tech off, unfortunately. That'll be an attack, and I'm gonna try to keep experience going correctly here. See if we can get Kira up without people dying here. And let's see if we can finish the job. This. There we go, that's the kill. So at least everyone gets what they were supposed to get. And we'll take this opportunity to do a quick healing because that was a lot of damage that came in. And once we get up here, we'll take the stairs on the left because this will... Oh, Blade Rights. Them by themselves, you have actually a fairly good chance to run. Not all the time does it work, but it's enough that it's probably worthwhile just to do. And if you don't feel like it, you can just do Macro B again as well. Dimension Worms by themselves, they are worthless for experience and money. And they're easy to run from, so you might as well just run. So let's head straight down, come over here to the right. Oh, there's ones again, so Macro A again. Yeah, we seem to be good on damage received at the moment, so we'll just not do any healing after this one. And here's our Swift Helm. That will be equipping on the Chaz later. The Swift Helm, actually, we'll just get our Macro B going here. The Swift Helm is actually another one of those items that you can use, or equipment that you can use as an item. And you can actually use it, and it does a very small agility buff. It's not as good as Saner, but if you just need someone to be a little bit faster because they died, and you don't want to cast Saner again on Rika, then you can use that in a pinch as well. But you can only use it when it's not equipped by somebody. Or that way it can only be used by the person that's equipped. So it's going to be on Chaz for a while. He's going to keep that. He's the only one that can do it. Run from these Dimension Worms. But later on we can start using it as an item on other people as well. Now, ambush. No thank you. Let's knock out a couple of those. And then once you get it back up the stairs, you head up onto the roof. And we'll enter the first door that we encounter over here. And there's another chest, which contains the Genocide Claw. That is the claw that Rika will be using later. And that claw actually has a special property that it has a chance to insta-kill things that you use to attack it with. So it's actually a really handy thing that we can start potentially abusing later on. And then just come over here, then head straight down. There we go. Now we got another disrupt, so why not? Because now Chaz is already actually at level for Lashiec already, so we're actually really ahead on experience. So we can actually done a lot of running if we wanted to. Such as right now. Because we're just trying to get outside. Alright, so we got a free walk, and the next room we enter will be the Healing Circle room that I was mentioning earlier. Let's come down here. Enter there. Now we have a little bit of menuing to do. So first things up, we'll change the equipment on Chaz. We're finally going to give him the sword, and we'll equip the Swift Helm, so that gets his armor nice and up there. And then Kira, we're actually going to give the Psy Shield over to make her nice and tanky again. On top of that, we're going to change our Macro B. So on this one, we're actually going to Rune cast Hewn, because Rune tends to not be the one casting Hewn in our dual text. So that's more Kira. So he's casting more of the spell side of it. So him using his Hewns for AoE is pretty good. And Chaz will do Air Slash, then the rest will attack. That's going to be the macro that we're going to use against those Frost Sabers and the other things that are kind of hard to fight that we were using our Macro B for. Hey, more triplets, but they're not real. Wah wah. And let's come over to the left. Dimension Worms we'll run away from. And head up and then left. Oh, these guys again. Still not the easiest things to run from, so no sense in risking it, and we'll use our macro ray since, again, TP is perfectly fine for this section since we don't have a long walk to the triplets, and also double slashes we're not using as well. So we can burn through resources again. Actually, now that I just remembered, this is actually a very important point. The macro H that we made for disrupts, if you encounter specters again, do not use your macro H. We want to keep those disrupts for the triplets fight. So if you need to, you can use our macro C is at, whoops, and I just went over to talk. Our macro C with the Tri-Blaster, that is a perfectly functional alternative to use to take out specters. And once done with the roof, we come to here. That's the stairs that we are normally going to. However, there's a treasure chest up here. And again, we'll run from these because we're ahead. We're fine. There's a chest with 8,000 Meseta. That is 8/10 of a star due later, so I would prefer to have that. Then just come down and go to the right. Oh, ooh. This could be bad. Alright, well, here's hoping. We'll put that macro B to use. Alright, good. Everyone lived. Actually, was getting worried that someone was going to die there. Yeah, let's get some healing on because we got dinged up pretty hard. And we'll just continue on to the right. Until we find this little archway and stairs. And head straight down. We're on the roof. Hooray! We are pretty much at the triplets now. So usually just on here is when I decide to do some last bit of healing. If we need to, we do. Everyone else is topped up. Also, we need to also equip the plasma field onto Rika. As I said, the plasma field is high resistance to lightning attacks, and the triplets like using those lightning attacks when we manipulate them to do so. So once we have our equipment done, we're healed up, let's move up and we'll fight them and hope that we are a-okay. So this is actually the last boss fight that Rika is going to be the sole survivor on. After this, all boss fights, our goal is to have everybody alive. So, first things up, we'll have Ren do Barrier, because that's going to be very important. Kira can do Hewn. Do Gigra on Rune. Rika will do Saner. And Chaz will do Air Slash. So, I mentioned earlier that we're manipulating this fight a little bit. Normally, these guys will do their own thing. They have a choice between Gizon, they have some high-power single-target attacks, but also one of them is triple attack that is lightning damage across everybody. They will do that every time if they've been hit by an AoE attack. So I guess casually that's supposed to punish you for doing that. We actually want that. That's actually a very good thing. Their single target and other spells do a crap ton of damage. So we're hoping that Ren gets his barrier up off the hop so we're a-okay, and somebody does some sort of AoE attack to force that ability. So let's see what happens by doing our Air Slash. So we got Saner, we got Barrier. We're in excellent shape so far. We got Air Slash. We are in excellent shape. There's our Thunder Blast. So it did a lot of damage to everybody, but Rika took next to no damage. So for this next part, we'll continue that trend. We're not healing anybody, by the way. So Ren will be attacking. We'll do Hewn again. We'll do Gaigra again. We'll actually have Rika cast Shift on herself. And Chaz will do another Air Slash. Okay, we're doing everything that we expect to do so far. So this is an excellent start. Gain a whole bunch of damage in. And almost everybody died. So now we can actually start doing the damage with Rika. So we'll have Ren doing a last-ditch attack here. And we got 5 disrupts to play with to kill the triplets. So here we go. Hopefully this still counts. It does. And Rika's only taking single damages here, so this is where we can just mash through and do disrupts over and over again. And hopefully the last one will kill all 3 at the same time, which it did. As far as I'm concerned, that's picture perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So, once they're dead, we come up to the healing circle here. That's conveniently here. And we're going to change our equipment. Rika is going to finally equip that Genocide Claw. And also, we will Heinous out to get us back to the entrance. And if you need to, this is a good time to leave and go save. Because we can't save anywhere in here. And we landed, we'll save, Chaz being 23 already, and then go right back to the air castle. So, as I said, Chaz being 23 is kind of our benchmark for going after the Lashiec coming up. So we're actually good on experience, or we're actually significantly ahead on experience, which leads actually into an interesting thought, that we're so far ahead on experience that Kira actually may gain the level that she needs to gain a skill called Warlaw. Most of the time, you do not. Oh, this is painful. Bullies. And if we have Warlaw for Lashiec, we have the potential to have an absolutely fandingo first few turns. But we'll see what happens when we get there. And just do Ren, do recovery. Not that it matters because that healing circle is right here. So we just gained all that back. So we'll just continue holding up, going past all the doorways that were blocked, and haha, stairs. So we'll just continue down. There's our first set of stairs. I have a bit of a rule of thumb for going through this section. If you ever are at a point where when you go into a new area and you can't see where you're supposed to go along the outside. And by outside, I mean, you can see there's kind of a little pathway on the left. How this area works is you go down a certain amount of floors, and then you hit the bottom floor, snake your way around to the other side on the left, and then you climb back up again. So that's an area that we'll be climbing back up later on in here. So to illustrate what we're doing, hit the stairs. You can't see what's going on, so we're going to hit the outside. Oh, hey, well, you know, there's the stairs. So we'll just head straight over to it. Chaos Sorcerers. These ones by themselves are not... They're pretty easy to run from, so we'll just take advantage of that since we're ahead. So this is a prime example of, I'm at the stairs, I have no idea where... I can't see the stairs, so we'll go along the outside. We know that there's stuff on the left side, so we'll go up the right. And again, we don't know what's going on, but we'll continue walking our only path, but our only path... Oh boy. Okay, these guys are out to play. So we will do... This one I tend to actually manual. Ren attack, Gra from Kira. We can do a Hewn from Rune. We can do a Disrupt. And we can do an Air Slash. And the goal is just to try to take them out pretty quick before they have a chance to do any significant damage. And North, not bad, but not great. So as we said, we follow the thing, and there's our stairs, so we don't have to worry about that rule of going along the outside. And this is the bottom floor, so we just follow it around. It's a single path, there's no branches at all. Ow! No thank you. And in this case, we'll do some healing. Actually, I'm going to mix it up a bit and use some of Kira's TP for healing as well. And Ren can use a recover there. And there's a Stardew along the way. Actually, my thoughts just got curious. So how far away is Kira from level? 8,700. That's a lot of experience. So I don't think we're going to have Warlock for the Lashiec fight. But we'll find... Oh, okay, game. I see you want me to go through these fights. Ren gained a level out of that. And our trusty Macroway comes back to show itself again. And then finally we get to the stairs. Actually, I wasn't paying attention to the damage I took there. Oh, Chaz got dinged up pretty hard. So here's another prime example of I can't tell which path I'm supposed to take. I'm going to take the outside, but the outside is now on the left. So we'll follow that through. These guys we should run from, no problem. lo and behold, there's our stairs. And this one we only have one path, which then we can see the stairs, so we'll just follow it. This is pretty easy to run from as well because the dimension worms drag down the average makes it easier to run. And again, we can kind of see where we're supposed to go because I just know that little nook is there that has the stairs in the middle, so we'll just go to that. And again, an example, can't see where we're supposed to go along the outside again, which is on the left. And this little cave here. That walk was actually pretty good overall, I would say. And we got to here, so we're in this room now. So there's no random encounters in this room. And now we do our last little bit of changing. So Chaz will equip that flame sword that we purchased earlier. And we're going to redo some macros here. So our first macro A is going to be an all-out damage macro. So it's going to involve Rika doing double slash. We'll have Ren on flare, Chaz on crosscut. And then we're going to set up a dual tech here with Nafwa and Hyun from Kira, and that will cause a Firestorm dual attack, so we're going to put that to use. Macro B is a macro slot that would be used if you wanted to have a macro using the Cycle Wand to get rid of the Lashiec's reinforced state. So what would that actually be would be very similar to our macro A, but it would be Ren. Actually, I'll just show you what it is. It would be Ren using the quote-unquote Cycle Wand. And then we'll be just doing a whole bunch of single target damage, so double slash, crosscut, Nefwa, and Hyun. So that would be your macro that you'd use for that one, if you need to. But since I do not have it, I'm just going to delete that. Macro C is going to be our main healing macro, so we're going to actually have Rika on healing duty, and she's going to be doing a lot of healing during this fight. And then Ren will be doing his recover. And from there, we'll just have everyone else attack. Doing crosscut, Nafwa and Hyun to set up that dual attack again. And our macro D is the other healing one, which involves actually Kira using the Stardew. We actually picked up a few of those as we went through the game so far. So with that, Ren will be doing barrier, Rika will be on double slash, Chaz will be doing crosscut, and then Rune will just be on Nefwa. As you can tell, there's a fair bit of fire damage attached to it. The Lashiec is weak to fire, so we're aiming to try to exploit that as best as we can. So alright, we are done with our macros. We've changed our equipment on Chaz, and now healing. Healing is just all that's left. So we'll just do some last little bit of top-ups here. And we look to be good. So this is the tricky part. This chest contains a monster. It could do a corrosion and do a lot of damage to everybody. It could kill somebody, or it can do nothing. We're kind of hoping on the nothing. So, actually, I tend to just attack, because Rika is normally so fast that... Uh-oh. Oh, we left out hard by a death spell on Ren. So we can just try that again real quick. I think you're normally supposed to use skills just to make sure you kill it. Okay, we got extremely lucky there. So nothing happened. But normally Rika is pretty accurate, that her just one round of attacks with her claws and it will kill it. So this fight has a lot of AoE damage. In fact, he has 2 AoE attacks and 1 single target possession skill that would put someone to sleep. We're hoping for as many of those possessions as possible. That's our primary one we're hoping for. The next best is a lot of Thunder Halberds. That is weaker single target or AoE damage. The other one's another gate. It hits like a Mack truck. It hits hard. If we ever see it, we hope to see it very early in the fight. So let's get ourselves situated here. So we'll be starting off with Ren doing barrier. I always double check with Kira because sometimes I'm not paying attention on what levels are gained. And we're checking to see if there's Warlot in here. There isn't. So we're not worried about that. So we'll have her do Gifwa. Rune will not go that far and do Nafwa. We'll do a Saner on Rika. The Saners are actually going to be very important now because the bosses tend to be pretty quick. We want to outturn them because a lot of them do a lot of AoE damage. And we want to be able to outturn them, make sure that we can heal that AoE damage every time it's occurring. So that's where Saner is very important. And we're going to start off with Chaz doing Githu. So good, we got a barrier. That's a start, that's good. If we had Warlaw here, we would actually have all of our defensive buffs up turn 1, which would be fantastic. Alright, so we got hit by Thunder Halberd. It does a crap ton of damage since we don't have D-Ban up, so we'll do a Recover on Ren. We're actually going to go burn one of those Stardews to heal everybody else up. Continue with the Nafwa here. And we'll do D-Ban on Rika, and we'll do another Githu on Chaz. So this is to get us all nice and healed up, and get our last defensive buff up. This is where we're hoping for Thunder Halberds and Possessions from this point forward. We got Thunder Halberd. That's good. That's an easy one to heal from. However, we're not completely set up yet. Still have to have Rendu recover. We're still going to be using another Stardew. We'll do Nafwa on Rune. And we're going to do Shift on Chaz. And we're going to get him started on his crosscut drain. You could wait another 2 and do another Githu just to make sure that Chaz gets the shift before it does crosscut. But Rika's pretty fast, so it's probably okay. Like you saw, hit for 338 damage. It's a ton. Thunder Halberd. Now we're in the groove now. This is what we're looking for. So now we can actually put that C macro that we created earlier. Gisar will actually out-heal the damage done by Thunder Halberd. So it's actually ideal to see that. And we get 4 casts of it. Because that allows us for Ren to heal up, Rico heal everyone else up, everyone else does a whole bunch of damage. So let's launch into that. And big damage, 329. Another Thunder Halberd, that's exactly what we're looking for. So that means we can continue on with the macro that we are on at the moment. And that Firestorm does 500 damage, just to be silly. Like, we're doing a lot of damage in very short periods of time. Thunder Halberd again. This is looking to be a very good fight as far as the, at least for the what's being selected for AoE damage. Another Thunder Halberd. Alright. So we got one more shot of this macro. Now Rika is completely tapped on TP. But everyone's still full health at the moment. So this should push him into using Reinforce. And that's what we're hoping on. There we go. So now that he's in the Reinforce stage, we will actually switch over to Macro A and just go ham for damage. Thunder Halberd, that's perfectly fine as well. Because that allows us to do everything. And another gate actually has a chance of killing Chaz in this case here. And we're going to do it one more time. And as long as we are faster than Lashiec, we should kill him. There we go. Rika finished the job. As far as that was pretty good overall. And it just highlights the macros that you create. And as long as they're created and used correctly, in the situations that are required, you're going to be in pretty good shape going through a bunch of fights. So, boom goes the air castle. We got the Eclipse Torch back. And we're just gonna head on back to return the torch. Alright, so we'll just finish up this little chat here. And that's going to call it quits for what I plan to do in this video here. So it actually went really well. So this shows how well, if things go to plan, things come together and bosses get destroyed really fast. Unfortunately, this video didn't really highlight when things go south. And on the triplets, things can go south very quickly. I wish I kind of explained more during the fight how things could go wrong. So I guess I'll just try to highlight them now real quickly at the end of the video here. The triplets, if they get turns off before barrier, oh man, you're going to have a rough time. If they start single targeting people, or say you get an AoE off and then their turn goes off for their Thunder Blast before the barrier goes off, you're probably going to start losing people. In that case, your goal is to finish up what you need to do. You're hoping to get barrier off in time on at least Kira and Rika. Those two are the most likely ones to survive the longest. That turns into then on following up turns, if whoever else is alive, continue doing AoE and make sure that you have Rika use... sorry, no, that's incorrect. You want Rika to do shift on herself still, but Kira wants to do Metis to get her back up to full health. And once that turn rolls through, you'll continue using Kira to go through the rest of her Hewn spells while Rika is healing her with Guy Reses. Once you are out, like you say you're about to use your last hewn, or if you use your last hewn, then you can go on to Rika, start using disrupts, and you should be able to recover and kill from there. It takes a little bit more effort, but it is doable. As for Lashiec, that's one that if it goes bad really fast. So for example, if we look at our items, we have 2 Stardews left over right now. We used 2 during the first 2 turns to counter the AoE damage being done, but if he starts using another gates, your Gisars don't keep up anymore, and you may have to start considering alternating between a Gisar Stardew, and that's why we made that macro D earlier to assist with that. Or sometimes you're just throwing Stardews because he's just doing another gate after another gate after another gate, and it's possible that you actually may just wipe during that because there's just nothing you can do about it. It's so much damage to try to keep up with. By contrast, he starts using a turn 1 possession is godly. It is so good when that encounters, because that means everyone else can start doing damage. Rika can throw out the D-ban. It's so good, and you actually potentially start saving on Stardews, because since I use 2, you actually may use 1, or if you're extremely lucky and he does a second possession, you actually do 0. So yeah, but again, this is where a lot of thinking comes into play and trying to figure out on the fly how you're going to get through your turns. So I think that's going to be it for this one now. So for the next video, actually I should probably bring up my notes that I wrote down here for what we're doing next. So as I said, we're up to Air Castle, we are done. So what that leaves now is Dark Force 2, Dark Force 3, Rykros, and then Profound Darkness itself. And I think the next one is actually going to be Dark Force 2 and Dark Force 3. And then we'll save Rykros and Profound Darkness as their own separate video. So this is going to be 4 parts in total. So again, thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you found it informative and useful. And hopefully soon I'll have video number 3 up. Alright, bye!